So, you're studying for the CAPM exam, right? You probably know the concepts themselves aren't crazy difficult. The real challenge? It's applying them under pressure in those tricky exam scenarios. In the next few minutes, I'm going to give you a quick preview of the exam coach's framework, which is designed to bridge that exact gap. And this is it. This is exactly where people lose points on the exam. It's not about some big, complex theory. It's these little distinctions that'll get you. If you get this stuff wrong, you're already on the back foot before you even get to the really tough questions. I mean, think about it, right? You could memorize the entire PMBOK guide, cover to cover, but the exam is never going to ask you to just recite a definition. No way. It's going to throw a situation at you and ask, okay, what do you do now? This is what we call the application gap, and we are going to start closing it today. All right, so where does this gap actually show up? Let's break it down. These are the big conceptual hurdles that trip up even the smartest, most dedicated students. You know that feeling when you're staring at a question, trying to decide if what they're describing is a project, or maybe it's a program, or if that thing that might happen is a risk, or is it an issue? This is exactly where the exam digs in to test your real-world understanding. So the big question, how do we bridge that gap? Well, at Exam Coaches, we don't just throw definitions at you. That's not the goal. We structure these concepts into really clear, simple decision-making frameworks. Let's kick things off with a classic. Okay, here we go. A classic exam-style question for you. You've got multiple initiatives, they're all related, and they all serve some big picture business objective. So what's the right term here? How do you categorize this? And boom, here's how the framework makes this so clear. The portfolio is at the very top, tied directly to those strategic goals. Underneath that, a program is there to coordinate a bunch of related projects. And then at the base level, you have the individual project. This structure helps you instantly see how everything connects. All right, let's try another one. This one is all about separating the special, one-time work from the everyday, keeping the lights on stuff. And it seems obvious, right? But you would be surprised how the exam can twist the words to make this tricky. Now, what's great here is how this just lays out the contrast side by side. Projects are temporary. They create something totally new. Operations, on the other hand, are ongoing. They just keep the business running. Seeing it laid out like this makes that distinction crystal clear. Okay, so you know what kind of work you're dealing with. The next logical question is, how are you going to do it? This is all about picking the right approach for the job. So picture this. You've got this perfect, beautiful plan, all detailed out. But then stakeholders start changing their minds, or maybe some new technology comes out. Do you just stick to the original plan no matter what? This is a classic decision point the CAPM exam absolutely loves to test. And here's the simple breakdown. Predictive is for when you know exactly what you're building. Think of it like constructing a bridge. You need the full blueprint up front. Adaptive or Agile is for when you expect things to change and you need to be flexible, kind of like developing a new piece of software. The exam will give you a scenario, and you have to pick the right tool for the job. Ooh, this one is critical. Notice that key phrase, the event has already happened. It's not a what if anymore. It's a what now. So what is it? Getting this wrong can send you down a completely wrong answer path on an exam question. And the distinction is simple but absolutely crucial. A risk is in the future. It might happen. An issue is happening right now. So that delay, that's an issue, plain and simple. This table right here is your cheat sheet for identifying these things when you're under pressure. So you're starting to see the pattern here, right? It's not just about knowing the terms. It's about connecting them in a logical way to break down any exam question that comes your way. This is it. This is the exam coach's formula. First, you identify the structure. Is it a project, program, or portfolio? Second, you identify the conditions. Are we in a predictive or adaptive world? And finally, you choose the correct concept. Is this a risk, an issue, or a constraint? Structure, conditions, concept. It's a simple process that helps you tear apart any question. And that's the whole game right there. This CAPM exam is not a theory test. It is a reasoning test. And this connection is precisely what our entire platform trains you to do. So let's bring it all home. What is it that really makes the exam coach's approach so different? Look, we don't just hand you a glossary and tell you to memorize it. That's what textbooks are for. And as we've already figured out, that is not enough to pass this exam. What we do is train your brain to see the patterns, to spot the keywords in a question, and to apply the right framework instantly. It's all about building those mental reflexes for exam day.
Ultimately, it all comes down to this. Success on the CAPM exam isn't about who memorized the most terms. It's about who can demonstrate the best judgment in any given scenario. And that is what we train you for.
This was just a quick look at our method. The complete framework, along with tons of practice questions and detailed walkthroughs, is waiting for you inside Exam Coaches. So, are you ready to stop just memorizing and start actually thinking like a project manager?